You know what really pisses me off? This nonsense about women thinking they're the center of the solar system of relationships, like the world revolves around them. Oh, of course, they've inflated their egos to stratospheric levels, like a balloon ready to pop, believing that men have to beg for attention, crawl on their knees, and be thankful for the crumbs of affection they get. They put themselves on a pedestal, like unquestionable queens, and the saddest part, a bunch of men accept this as if it's the natural order of things. Pathetic, right? But I'm going to give you a reality check, because that's what you need. Yes, you can flip this game around. And it's right now, my friend. You can bring that high-nosed arrogance down to where it belongs, the ground. When you pop that inflated ego, and I mean really destroy it, she'll start to see you in a completely different light. And the funniest part? She'll start chasing after you, that's right, like crazy, scared to lose you. Now, pay close attention. This isn't some conspiracy theory, it's real. And I'm not here to tell you some fairy tale. When you learn how to tear down that ego, you become the man she never thought existed, and she'll do anything not to let you slip away. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. 12 ways, scientifically proven, to destroy any woman's ego. No mercy, no pity. Because enough is enough, stop accepting crumbs. Stop being the fool in the story. So, get ready, because the game is about to change. And if you're sick of being overlooked, it's time to fight back. Let's get straight to the point. Number 1, always above her. Listen carefully, because here comes the hard truth. Women are much more attracted to men who aren't clinging to them. And I'm not saying this to sound cliché. It's something that's been proven time and time again. Why? Simple. They feel that a man who isn't acting like a puppy following them has something special, a confidence that others lack. When you're not there, begging for her attention every second, you're sending a very clear and powerful message. I'm a man of value, and if you don't see that, that's your loss, because others do. This is the line that separates men who control their own destiny from those who are manipulated without even realizing it. The man who isn't concerned about her approval becomes much more desirable, and you know why? Because he has options. He doesn't put all his energy into one woman as if she were the last on earth. The key is this. When she realizes that you're emotionally unavailable to be controlled, that you have other alternatives, the balance completely shifts. Now you're the one holding all the cards. The problem for many guys is putting a woman on a pedestal, as if their life depended on her approval. Wrong! Once you understand that the power lies in not being available all the time, you elevate yourself to a higher level. She'll start to see you differently. She'll begin chasing you, because no one wants to lose the guy who knows his own worth. And more than that, when you're not available, she's constantly on high alert, always thinking about how to keep you. The one in control of the game, the one with emotional control, is you, not her. So, pay attention. The man who masters his emotions and doesn't cling to the need to please all the time is the one who truly attracts. It's useless to be whining or crawling after her. Be the guy who knows what he wants and how he wants it, and the game will turn in your favor. Are you ready to finally take control of the situation? Because if not, get used to being taken for a fool forever. Number 2, stop insisting on going out. Now, let's talk about the classic mistake most guys make. They barely start talking, and they're already desperate to set up a date. Then guess what happens? The woman loses interest in seconds. You know why? Because you've become just another guy in the line of desperate dudes. The predictable guy who's more excited about the dinner than the mystery of the whole thing. And she already knows where that's going. Nowhere. But let me show you the opposite path, and listen closely. Instead of acting like a puppy begging to go out, adopt a detached posture. Exactly, don't ask her out for anything. Do that, and you'll put her in an uncomfortable position, because she'll start wondering, why hasn't this guy asked me out yet? Is he not into me? Or worse, does he think I'm ugly? This whirlwind of doubts will start spinning in her head, and guess who comes out on top? You, of course. While the other guys are out there, burning energy to win scraps of attention, you're in a position of power. Why? Because your attitude makes her stop and think. And in the world of relationships, that's gold. When you don't follow the predictable script of let's go out, you automatically stand out. You become the only one who's not drooling over her. And that, my friend, creates a confusion she'll want to solve at all costs. Guess how? By wanting to win you over. So instead of insisting like crazy, maintain your posture. Keep her in doubt and insecurity, thinking about how to win you over. Because the more you stand out, the more she'll want what's out of reach. Do you want to be just another guy she forgets by next week? Or are you ready to leave her intrigued, chasing after you, trying to figure out what makes you so different? Number 3, special treatment, only for those who deserve it. Now, let's clear up something that seems obvious, but most guys insist on ignoring. Treating a woman special just because she's pretty is the perfect recipe to becoming her doormat. You know what happens when you do that? You're basically inflating her ego like a party balloon and putting yourself in a position of inferiority. Congratulations, you've just won the easily manipulated nice guy award. Think about it. Why on earth would you give VIP treatment to someone who hasn't done anything to earn it? You're not here to put women on pedestals like untouchable goddesses. They're just people like anyone else, and you should only treat someone special if, and only if, that person has earned it. When you treat everyone equally and only offer special treatment to those who prove they're worth it, something magical happens. She realizes you're not that typical guy who starts flattering for no reason. And then, my friend, she'll want to earn that special treatment. She'll want to deserve your attention. Want an example? My uncle always said this. He treated everyone the same, whether it was an employee, a waiter, or even someone asking for change on the street. Reciprocity was his motto, and he was right. Treat people well if they treat you well. It's basic. Now, if she hasn't lifted a finger for you, explain to me why you'd give her special treatment. Just to massage her inflated ego? Know that it'll only make her see you as a welcome mat, ready to be stepped on. If you want to be treated as a priority, only treat as a priority those who also prioritize you. No mystery here. You value those who deserve value. And if she hasn't done anything to show she's worth it, don't waste your time. After all, you're not here to be anyone's doormat, right? Number 4, control your fear of losing her. You know those guys who are glued to their phones, updating every 5 minutes with useless messages like, going to the bathroom, taking a shower now, off to the gym. Ridiculous, right? This type of behavior screams one thing: emotional dependence and zero control over their own lives. And I'm going to tell you a harsh truth. When you act like that, you're clearly showing that your life revolves around her, as if you were a lost satellite in orbit. And guess what? That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make. The fear of losing is what makes you believe in monsters that don't even exist, creating paranoia, imagining that she's about to leave you for any guy that passes by. And even worse, without realizing it, you've already lost. The control? Gone. Her? She's starting to see you as someone who can be easily manipulated. The result? You become a pawn that she moves on the board as she pleases. So it's time to wake up, soldier. Control your emotions, or, without even realizing it, you'll be manipulated like a puppet. The moment you show the slightest sign of fear, it's as if you're handing over full control of the relationship to her. Fear is the most powerful psychological weapon there is, and guess who knows that? She, of course. If you act out of fear, you're doomed to act irrationally, to screw things up, to lose all respect. Remember that show, The Mentalist? He used to say something very simple and true. Fear is a weapon, and those who feel fear are easily controlled. Now tell me, do you want to be the guy being controlled or the one who's in charge of the situation? The choice is yours, but there's only one path if you want her respect. Control that fear of losing her. Number 5, don't let anxiety control you. You know that guy who acts like an idiot, super excited just because he scored a date? It's like he won the lottery, telling everyone and unable to think about anything else. Pure anxiety. And I'll tell you a cruel truth. When you act like that, you're basically revealing that there's nothing more interesting happening in your life than going out with her. And guess what? Her interest dies instantly. Women quickly pick up when you're desperate for attention, and nothing turns them off more than that. One thing is confirming a date fine, that's normal. But sending constant messages, like you're waiting for a bomb to explode? That just shows you've got nothing better to do, that your life is an empty void waiting for her to fill. And guess what she thinks? This guy is way too needy, not for me. Listen up. You've got to show that your life is full of commitments, of options, that you're not available every second. When you convey that you have other priorities, other important things going on, she starts realizing that if she wants to be part of your life, she'll have to fight for it. Because at the end of the day, you are the prize, not the desperate one. Who has time to waste on anxiety? It's time for you to take control and make her realize it won't be that easy to get your attention. So, do you want to keep playing the game of I'm available 24/7 and watch her interest disappear? Or are you ready to show her that if she wants your attention, she'll have to fight for it? Remember that show, The Mentalist? He used to say something very simple and true. Fear is a weapon, and those who feel fear are easily controlled. Now tell me, do you want to be the guy being controlled or the one who's in charge of the situation? The choice is yours, but there's only one path if you want her respect. Control that fear of losing her. Number 5, don't let anxiety control you. You know that guy who acts like an idiot, super excited just because he scored a date? It's like he won the lottery, telling everyone and unable to think about anything else. Pure anxiety. And I'll tell you a cruel truth. When you act like that, you're basically revealing that there's nothing more interesting happening in your life than going out with her. And guess what? Her interest dies instantly. Women quickly pick up when you're desperate for attention, and nothing turns them off more than that. One thing is confirming a date fine, that's normal. But sending constant messages, like you're waiting for a bomb to explode, that just shows you've got nothing better to do, that your life is an empty void waiting for her to fill. And guess what she thinks? This guy is way too needy, not for me. Listen up. You've got to show that your life is full of commitments, of options, that you're not available every second. When you convey that you have other priorities, other important things going on, she starts realizing that if she wants to be part of your life, she'll have to fight for it. Because at the end of the day, you are the prize, not the desperate one. Who has time to waste on anxiety? It's time for you to take control and make her realize it won't be that easy to get your attention. So, do you want to keep playing the game of I'm available 24/7 and watch her interest disappear? Or are you ready to show her that if she wants your attention, she'll have to fight for it? If you're tired of being treated like a fool, being the guy she walks all over and then throws away, it's time to wake up. Read the ebook in the description of this video. After reading it, you'll learn to be cold and calculating, to not tolerate disrespect, and to master the art of putting any woman in her place. Stop being a doormat, stop swallowing disrespect, and start being the man she not only respects, but fears losing. It's time to turn the tables and take control of your life. Number 6, stop initiating conversations all the time. Now listen carefully because this is crucial. You don't need to be the guy who always initiates the conversation. If you're truly interesting, if you know how to handle a conversation without forcing it, things will flow naturally. But you know what mistake a lot of guys make? They become obsessed with this idea that they need to keep the contact going at all costs, constantly starting conversations like a woman is going to forget they exist if they don't send a hey every few hours. Pathetic. Even worse, some guys end the conversation with a good night or I'm going to bed, like they're signing a contract to restart everything from scratch the next day. Man, that just screams anxiety and dependence. When you do that, you're creating a vicious cycle of I need to start again, which only makes it clear you have no control over the situation. So do yourself a favor. Let the conversation flow. Respond on your own time, without rushing. Don't get anxious to start a chat every time, like you're desperate to be remembered. The more you control yourself, the more you show that you have other things to do besides being glued to your phone, the more intrigued she'll be. This keeps the tension, the interest, because at the end of the day, the person who's not available all the time is always more interesting. So it's time to stop this silly need to be the conversation starter. If you're really interesting, believe me, she'll come looking for you. Number 7, forget jealousy. A man who truly values himself doesn't have time for these childish jealousy games. Seriously, stop and think. If a woman isn't giving you the attention you deserve, why waste time being jealous? Move on, plain and simple. Because at the end of the day, you know that where there's one woman, there are 10 more ready to take her place. Wasting time on jealousy is just giving her a clear signal that she has some kind of control over you. And that's when you lose the game. Now, if she starts with those cheap provocations, talking about other guys, that's the moment to show that you don't care. Let her say what she wants. You know what she's trying to do, right? Play with your emotions, destabilize you, make you feel like she has power over you. But let me tell you something. If you fall for that, you're playing exactly into her hands. Show jealousy? Game over. She knows she's in control, and you, my friend, have become a puppet of her ego. So do the opposite. Show her that it simply doesn't affect you. When she realizes that her provocations don't move a hair on your head, the one who'll be confused is her. And you know what happens when she no longer has that power over you? She loses control, and then she's the one who's vulnerable. Because, at the end of the day, the key is this: a man who values himself doesn't waste time with jealousy. He shows indifference, moves on, and makes it clear that no one has the power to throw him off his center. Do you want to be the guy who loses his cool with every silly comment, or the guy who knows his worth and doesn't get shaken by cheap games? The choice is yours, but one thing I can guarantee: the man who masters his jealousy masters the game. Number 8, look at other women. Now pay attention, because this is where many guys fall into the trap. Never, and I mean never, make the mistake of stopping looking at other women just because you're with one. That's the kind of thing immature guys do, the ones who hand over control of the game on a silver platter. You know what happens when you stop looking around? You're basically telling her, okay, you have me in the palm of your hand, I'll do whatever you want. And who the hell wants to be the obedient puppy? Hopefully not you. When you continue looking at other women, you're sending a powerful message. You have options. And that, my friend, messes with her ego in ways you can't imagine. Make a casual comment about another woman, an innocent observation, but with weight. Something like, that woman over there has an interesting style. You know what that does? It shakes her inflated confidence, because you're making it clear that she's not the center of your universe. She doesn't have the control she thought she did, and that hurts a lot. The mistake many guys make is thinking they need to block out their vision, as if suddenly the world is only made up of the woman they're with. Even worse, some think this is a sign of loyalty. You know what it actually is? Stupidity. When you show that you're still paying attention to what's going on around you, you make it clear that if she slips up, you have other options. And then, she's the one who gets insecure because she knows that at any moment she can be replaced. And believe me, nothing messes with a woman more than realizing she's not the only star in your sky. So, do you want to live as someone who lets himself be controlled, or as the guy who knows that where there's one, there are always more? The choice is yours, but remember, the one who gets complacent loses the game. And here, my friend, the game is yours to win. Number 9, indifference is key. Here's the truth. Women with inflated egos, especially the more immature ones, love testing men. They'll do everything to provoke you, just to see how you react. And what do? Show that you don't care. Total indifference. Don't fall into the cheap game of trying to prove something or justify yourself. The more indifferent you are, the more confused she becomes. Simple as that. When you treat these provocations with almost surgical coldness, she'll start to wonder, does he really not care? Am I not pretty enough for him? Does he not find me interesting? And that's exactly what you want to plant that seed of doubt in her inflated ego. The irony is that the more unshakable you are, the more she'll seek your approval. She'll chase after you, desperately trying to prove she's special, that she's worthy of your attention. And then, who has control? You. So the next time she tries to mess with your head, take a deep breath and remember, indifference is your most powerful weapon. She doesn't deserve your time or your emotions until she's earned them. And until then, let her work to earn what she thinks she has in abundance, your attention. Number 10, use rejection to your advantage. Here's the masterstroke that few understand. Beautiful women are used to being adored, treated like untouchable goddesses. Rarely do they taste the bitter sting of rejection, and that's where you come in, with the plan that's going to completely mess with her mind. When you start rejecting her, even subtly, you create a huge void in her mind, a void she'll want to fill at all costs. She'll start wondering, why isn't he giving me attention? Have I lost my charm? Is something wrong with me? And this kind of doubt destroys any inflated ego. By rejecting her, you're directly hitting her confidence, putting her in a position she's not used to. It's like a reality check. She, who's always had men at her feet, is now dealing with someone who simply doesn't care to give her attention. And you know what's most interesting? This game of subtle rejection makes her start fighting for your attention. She'll work hard to figure out what makes you different, why you're not bending like all the others. And suddenly, you become the prize. Because at the end of the day, what no one has is what they desire most. So do you really want to shake her ego? Use rejection as your weapon. You don't need to be rude, just make her feel that your attention is rare, something that must be earned. She'll start fighting to fill the void you've created. And then, my friend, you're the one in control. Number 11. Your time is your most precious asset. Here's a truth that few understand. Your time is your greatest treasure. It's limited, valuable, and should be invested wisely. And you know what that means? No woman, no matter how beautiful she is, should come before your goals and purposes. When you show that your time is precious, that you have clear priorities, she realizes that if she wants to be part of your life, she'll have to fight for that space. And here's the secret. Never, ever sacrifice your commitments for a woman. She's not the priority. Your work, your projects, your personal growth, those are what should be at the top of your list. Because you know what happens when you start giving up your things for her? You lose her respect, plain and simple. You become the guy who drops everything to please her, and at that point, you've lost control. If you truly want to attract respect and desire, make it clear that your time is something that can't be bought easily. Whoever wants your attention, whoever wants to be part of your life, will have to work for it. And if she doesn't get that, too bad for her. There are other things and other people who know the value of your time and are ready to respect that. So always remember, your time is sacred. Don't waste it on those who don't deserve it, and don't sacrifice your commitments to please someone. She's not the center of the universe, you are. Number 12. Stop being the nice guy. It's time to face reality, and I'm going to be blunt. No mercy. Being the nice guy will only lead you straight to the bottom, where no one respects you and everyone walks all over you. You know what happens when you're the nice guy. People, and not just women, take advantage of you without a second thought. They see you as the guy who's always available, always there, ready to serve like a loyal puppy. You know what that makes you? The guy everyone uses and no one values. This needs to stop now. Enough of being everyone's doormat, settling for crumbs while thinking that by being kind, you're going to get something in return. You won't. What you'll get is contempt. You'll be seen as disposable. If you want respect, it's time to change this dirty game. Stop being the nice guy and start demanding reciprocity. And I'm not saying to be a jerk. I'm saying stop being the guy who gives everything and gets nothing in return. Women need to feel that you're a challenge, that you're not there to be the yes ma'am, doing whatever they want, whenever they want. They need to sweat to earn your attention, your respect, your time. If you keep being the nice guy, my friend, you'll forever be stuck in the role of a background character in your own life, while everyone else plays the lead. Do you really want to be respected? Then understand this once and for all. Being the nice guy is the perfect recipe to be forgotten.
Stop settling for the minimum. Start standing your ground and demand that if she wants your attention, she's going to have to work for it.
If it's not like that, congratulations. You'll continue to be the nice guy everyone walks all over. Choose. Either you become the guy people respect, or you continue being the doormat everyone wipes their feet on without a second thought. Now, either you wake up to reality, or you keep getting treated like a fool. Because honestly, the choice is yours. No one's going to hold your hand and pull you out of the hole if you keep being the nice guy, the guy everyone manipulates, uses, and discards. The truth is harsh, and it's time you swallow this reality. Either you take charge of your own life, or you'll spend the rest of it crawling, getting stepped on, and ignored. Do you want respect? Do you want people to see you as someone who's worth it? Then start changing now. Stop accepting less than you deserve. Stop settling for crumbs. Don't keep being the guy who gives everything and gets nothing in return. Because if you don't demand more, all you'll receive is contempt. It's time for you to be the protagonist of your story. It's time to stop being the nice guy and become the man who doesn't bow down to anyone. The decision is yours. Keep kneeling or stand up and take control of your life. The game is in your hands. It's all up to you.